Welcome to InterviewPro. Today I'm going to talk about another interesting question in JavaScript interviews. What is hoisting in JavaScript? This question mainly focuses on your understanding of the fundamentals. Let's start with the definition of hoisting. Hoisting is a behavior of JavaScript where the variables and the function definitions are moved to the top of the scope, local or a global scope. So, what do I mean by this? I'll show you a small example. Try to answer it. So here I have a JavaScript code where I am initializing a variable with some value, then trying to log it to the console, and then defining it. So before we see the output of this code, let's try to compare what happens if the similar code is written in other languages. For example, C#. Here also I have a variable which is initialized first and written to the console, and then it is declared. So in C Sharp, you might see an output cannot use local variable before it is declared. So it is important to declare a variable before it can be initialized or used. Now coming to JavaScript, it gives a correct output. And the reason behind this is variable declaration is moved up when you run the code. This is called hoisting. To understand how this works, you need to know the term execution context. There are two types of execution context: global execution context and function execution context. JavaScript is a single-threaded language. It would create the global scope when it starts to run the code. This scope is nothing but global execution context. Function execution context is the scope local to the function. This is created when you make a function call. Again, global execution context or function execution context will have two phases: creation and execution. Creation is the phase where the concept of hoisting will come into picture. This is an example of code where I am calling a function before its definition is available. It doesn't throw any error because of the concept called function hoisting, where the definition of function will be moved to the top of the scope. So the output will be printed as hello. So this is about global scope. Let me show another example. Here I have a function in which I have a variable which is declared after it is logged to the console. Can you guess the output here? Okay, so first the function definition will be moved up in the global scope. Next, when the code reaches the function call, it focuses on the local scope. So the variable declaration will be moved to the top. Hence, the output will be 20. One last example. Can you guess the output here? Okay, it's undefined. Always remember, it's the definition that moves to the top, not the initialization. So the code in this context will be, since the variable is not initialized, it will log undefined, and then initialization takes place. Let's try these examples in a compiler to make sure we are seeing the correct output. I have added all the examples which we discussed in the slides previously. So first, let's see if the function variable hoisting the code is working as expected. So I have a variable assigned with the value 10, and then I'm trying to console log, and then I am defining that variable, declaring that variable. So let's run it, and we see the output 10 because variable hoisting is taking place here. Now let me just remove this code and uncomment this. So this is an example of function hoisting where I have function definition after it is called. So let me run it, and we still see the console log because function hoisting is taking place here. And let me remove this code as well and uncomment this. Now it's the hoisting in local scope. So I have a function call. Just after that, I have the definition of my function, inside which I have a variable which is not declared yet. So let's try to run this, and we see the output local scope and the value. Let me remove this code and uncomment this. Let's run it. So here at line 7, the code doesn't know what my var is. So when it comes here, only the variable definition or declaration will be moving up, and it is not initialized yet. So the variable is undefined. Now at line 8, I am initializing that variable with the value 10. So this console log would return me the correct output 10. So this is all about hoisting in JavaScript, how variables are hoisted and functions are hoisted in local and global scopes. I hope the concept is clear. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe to InterviewPro. Thank you.